Hi Pisces, how are you doing? How are you doing? Let's find out. I went and got new energy. I needed last week, I went and got the Smithwaite, the Centennial Edition. And I found out from the notes that, the thermostat's going on. It shouldn't go for too long. Found out from the notes that Pamela Coleman Smith did a fair bit of work with one of my guides, William Butler Yeats, Irish writer, author, poet. He helped me tremendously a couple of years ago, and apparently still get my now ex into a beautiful 3-bedroom home in County Mayo, Ireland, and he's from County Sligo, nearby, next door to Mayo, relatively, and the home is not far from there. And so I guess what was really neat, I have the black and gold as well, but I needed to go back to the beginning in another way. And so to find out that she worked with Yeats, I guess I feel like I have an even stronger, I needed spiritual renewal, and now I find out that I have this possible other connection to her, that maybe she had something to do with the house as well. And right after finding this out, within 2 or 3 days, I found out that another person from my past, like, not quite an ex, but shall we say, it's like a brother to me. And he, David Schroeder and I have had our problem last year. I confronted. He's a survivor, MK Ultra, but the Franklin boys, the Franklin scandal, the Omaha cover up, the trafficking boys, all that stuff. He has a website, davidschroeder.com. But I confronted his main problem person, well, not the main one, but the goon, Lucian Greaves, Doug Mesner, head of the Satanic Temple, which is really just a Freemasonic pyramid. And they've been gang stalking for years, and I've known them for all, like, the last 6 years. I've been dealing with them and their colleagues through my Hampstead research. There's a Hampstead case out of London that broke open 2015. It's a psyop, but it's also real. And I'm kind of close to the heart of that. That's how I met my best friend, Tracy Morris. To stop the rambling, Pisces, there's something really just wonderful about knowing how things connect, and who, and believing in the, almost too good to be true, which is what Pisces needs to do to be the muse. Yes, the 12th house thing of doing and saying, the most psychedelic, crazy ass shit. I have a Pisces mind, and that's the problem. So it can be taken as hyperbole, superlative. It can be taken as you're out of your mind, but you know better, Pisces. So further to that, because we're in Taurus season, even though the sun is still in Aries, and the Aries sun hit Aries just around the 20th, so I'm actually changing up birth charts from the Fragan Bradley so that I was using to either the Deluce or the Larry Eli, because Larry Eli actually had the sun hitting Aries on the 20th, and so it might not be consistent, because it might be his chartings might be too long for other constellations. Since Aries is so short, it might not be accurate all the way around. I'm going to watch it as the year progresses. But I redid my chart with that, using the Regiomontanus, the Ibn Ezra house system. I also use whole house. I do composite chart. But no, I found the placements actually even resonating stronger with me with that. Having said that, I brought out the Alana Fairchild Wild Kuan Yin Oracle, because there's such wonderful Tibetan bison, buffalo energy in these cards. And I was even hesitating a bit, but then they called to me. So we're gonna grab what we can from these, what comes through. We'll read them at the end. Very gentle energy. Kuan Yin to me she was someone who was divine, who elected to stay on Earth to help people, generation after generation after generation. She'd rather do that. She'd rather be helping than off safe somewhere, living, an eternal life in a blissful place. She'd rather stay here and help. And I take her to be another personification of Kali and Grandmother Spider, and this references her as grandmother energy, but she often shows up as a young child in these cards. The painter is Chinese. I put his name in the description. These scenes are Tibetan, and it's basically the paintings are what brought me to this deck, obviously, like anybody else would. But the messages are actually so gentle, but I find the gentle ones pack the heaviest punch, but in such a nice gentle way, but firm. What am I doing? Okay, so let's put these out of the way. And let's see, Pisces, what's coming through for Pisces. In Taurus season 1 flipped right in the deck, so I'm going to take that. I'll hold them up to the camera. Oh, and one's flipping out. I think 2 is good, and they're both the landscape view. Not the vertical, not the portrait. Interesting. Okay, so let's get close to the camera. Let's see. Beautiful. Look at that dark sky and the contrast that it creates. I love that. Okay, now I've got my low battery thing flashing, but it often lies to me. Look at these. See how close up I can get. And that landscape, it's all stepped, it's all tiered gardens, right? Okay. And now, I've shuffled these, let's just get a card. In reverse. Let's just refocus on that Knight of Swords in reverse and what he's up to. Take that as a clue. I'll put him back in the deck. But we'll see see how he plays into your story. Okay, let's put those up there and wait for the camera to totally run out of juice. Let's breathe into these again. Just to, throw that Knight around a bit. Once more. And see where Pisces is at. Okay. Pisces in the 2nd house of finances. I'd like it to be the other way around. But we're still towards the 9 of Pentacles, the Entrepreneur card. So I put this as Capricorn energy, not Virgo. Because this is career house energy, not routines and workplace and problem solving energy. This is, getting it done on a large scale. But now we have that tree of life almost represented here, don't we? That's how they've arranged these pentacles in this card. The aspects of God. Knowing that there's more to life, more to you than what's in the 3D. All said and done. And somewhere, is it in this card as well? There's the portal. Yeah. See, there's that Masonic, all this Masonic stuff, the checkerboard. The portal to the next realm. Yeah. Okay. So 10 back to the 9. Proving yourself to yourself. I'm going to check these out and I'm going to put them back in. Chariot And King of Pentacles. And well, that's looking actually pretty... Okay, then I'm going to keep them. Now you're stable in being balanced. There's a transformation going on because this is 7. Cancer energy, so with guides, but your yin yang, it's harnessed. There's a victory, and this is divine timing. This King of Pentacles, this Capricorn energy in reverse. So this career energy. Wow, okay. I put this as Saturn return energy, this Judgment in reverse, upright or reverse. Fears, calculated risks, and boundaries. And that's in reverse. Very interesting. So the structure of home is being divinely restructured. So possibly you're moving. And it's affecting how and where you do business. Now it's interesting. Yeah, we got stability here. Yeah, we do have stability echoed. I know that this can be seen as a boredom card, but it's a 4, and 4 is about being stable. The sandbox you want to be in. You're not sure about the sandbox you're in. Is it going to bring the... Well, but you need to be ready for the 5. You need to be ready for necessary change. That's just how it is. You don't get to 6 and 7 and 8 and 9, 10 without the 5. But in the 5 of Cups, there's regrets. There is melancholia. Why is this in reverse? We do have a transformation. Primarily Cancer energy. So if I take that as Cancer energy, I like to think of it as all water energy. But here we have Scorpio energy. And this would have everything to do with correlating to... I mean, not that Saturn has anything to do with, but these fears, these boundaries, calculated risks. What is it? So we're hard at work. And this King of Pentacles is perhaps avoiding a risk. Perhaps. Proving himself to himself, right? Because he's of a mind to prove himself to himself and not everybody else yet. And the risk comes with how you prove yourself to everybody else. And it has something to do with working. Okay. Well, there's that cup in reverse. Very interesting. Spiritual renewal. Okay, so this is bridging this gap between explaining this Judgment in reverse. So something hasn't been done, something hasn't been accepted, something hasn't been... Okay. Something's working over there because we've got a Chariot happening over there. This King of Pentacles, let's just split things up. Let's just split things up. Let's say this King of Pentacles is not doing the spiritual transformation, is not doing the spirit, is not being spiritually filled, right? This person over here potentially is. I can't see how the Chariot progressing and with the balance is the same person as this. And it, and it could be. I want to say that came out upright. Safe passage. Right. That's going to work for me with that Chariot because it's water energy. Moon energy. Further to the Cancer energy. So there's full guidance. Very interesting. Okay, there's some sideways energy. Okay. Okay. Right. And it's pointing to this. Okay, so they had me divide this up just in, you know, before this card comes out. Okay, so there we have 10 is in reverse. Good grief. And a bunch of empty candle, tea light candles just fell. Now this is, because it is charted, that's my agreement with how my guides talk to me with these cards. If a major arcana comes out, it represents divine timing, charted timing. Okay. So it's dependent on this. So somebody over here is completely in tune. And this is your card. This is your card in tarot. I mean, in astrology, it would be Cancer's card, but I know in tarot, it is yours, Pisces. So you seem to be fine. This person, no. Okay, I'll take it sideways. I'll take it sideways. I'm going to put it right there. And it's because it's someone in your life. We've got that. Okay, so we've got the echo of that King in reverse. And yeah, we're talking investment energy. Now, this is between May 1st and May 15th. In the second house. So it could be the energy of, this could represent the energy of the time. How things are, because we've got the moon, so perhaps the Taurus moon. The manifestation of through Taurus moon. Anything else? What should, more sideways? The truth. So we're stuck on the truth. The truth is holding something up. We've got, okay, 3 aces on the table. We're missing the Ace of Wands. Core self, what the self wants. And this King of Pentacles doesn't know what he wants. And that's the truth. But you know the truth. Truth is pointing this way. It came out sideways, pointing that way. So you know God's truth. Who is this person? That's slapping out. I'll check it. Magician. So go time. And I guess that's basically, well, okay, that came flipping out. Let's take this as the last tarot card. It's kind of sideways. Okay, it's definitely sideways. And it's definitely career energy. It's definitely Capricorn energy, but we've got the Lovers here. So there's interference. This time I'll take it as interference. There is somebody, possibly. Now the question is it helpful interference or is it harmful interference? This is not the Happy or Devil card like in the Tattoo Tarot where it's easily Kali. This is just straight up reading it for the energy coming from it. I can see the Devil card can be a happy card for me, no problem. We've got strong Capricorn energy. And full, we've got Cancer energy, Scorpio energy of what needs to be done. And there's probably, because it would because it's spiritual work, of course you're going to have interference. Now the question is being able to recognize and do the work of, you know, who who this person's connecting with. And if this person's too much in their earth energy, no, I don't want to say anything bad about earth energy, but more divine timing. And it's sideways. So again, I would say, in order to break free, we have that Chariot, that victory, and you got to go for it. So let's leave that there and let's see. Well, we've still got battery. Let's see what the Oracle say. It's never too late. Never too late, even though, right? Yeah. Okay. If you have forgotten who you are, know that your true self has not gone away and never will. Well, that brings a new interesting layer to this. Is this all you? And here's your true self. Okay, I needed to charge the battery for a while because my other battery I overcharged and killed it. So let me return to this Oracle in a second because I had some thoughts while I was waiting for that to happen. In terms of, I went back and reviewed, even though I felt like we probably want to start fresh, but they had given you Hanged Man so many times, your own energy, and there have been so many people in your life, in your head. So the question is, given that, is this balance, got wax all over it, is this balance of the Chariot moving? And is this your two minds? Like, you see the two fish, right? Your two fish in your Pisces, you're another twin energy like Gemini. And so is this one of your minds, and is this your other mind? And is it pulling it into balance? Like, should this be slightly rearranged? Or is it you and somebody else? So either way, that Hanged Man that kept reoccurring, the review that was necessary, knowing yourself, because, you know, against everybody else that had demands on you, that were too many demands, but given they come with the territory because of being Pisces, yes? So what do we see that you did? Given that change of perspective, that forced change of perspective about the free will energy, which I still don't have really on this table. I don't know. Okay. Yes, if you have forgotten who you are, so that takes us back to the Hanged Man and remembering who you are, because the Hanged Man is your Neptune. It is you. You. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? You know who you are. And here we are again. You know who you are over here. This is your energy sideways. So we're still Scorpio, Cancer energy. So roots transferring. Yeah. And maybe you have, you know, if you have a lot of guides too, it can be hard to know who you are. This Judgment, if it's is it a reunion of well, it's a reunion on hold, either between your two selves or you and another person. If I could just get to reading this oracle without interrupting myself, eh? If you have forgotten who you are, know that your true self has not gone away and never will. Underneath every layer of conditioning, under all twisting and turning and trying to fit into some shape to please others, your true self remains true. Ready and waiting to rise up in original gorgeousness and glory. It's never too late for you to choose to be you. So is this the people-pleasing side and the forgetting because of all this pentacle, because of all of this world stuff? Yes. And here you are over here, ready, proving yourself to, like, this is the proving yourself to yourself card. So I feel like I'm on to something with that, yes. And the happiness is the wish fulfillment, not wish fulfillment, the Ten of Cups, the happiness, and the full communion is pulling it all together. Good fortune granted. Just as there are physical seasons upon the earth, the soul too goes through its seasons. So, this is about your soul. Spring in the soul heralds time of birth. Heralds the time of birth. New ideas, new inspirations, new energy to take action, new life, new connections, and new gifts abound. New life and good fortune are headed your way. Well, with all these aces here. With all these aces. So what? But I'm still not clear, and you're not clear either. And maybe you're just not clear who you are. Yet. Obviously. You might need some help. Yeah. Oh, what's underneath it? Oh. Okay, so first off, the Two of Swords, making up your mind. It's just like, no, don't have it here elsewhere. You're making up your mind in Gemini mode. Another twin energy, yes? The two minds. Let's say these are the two minds. And here we have the moon. But you need to make up your mind in a way that you haven't made up your mind before, right? We're in a two energy. We're not further along. So this is a new issue, or it feels like a new issue. It's probably something you've never made up your mind about before. Otherwise, it would be solved, right? Even if you knew who you were before, maybe it wouldn't have been complete a concept of yourself as it can be now. And so, yes. As for the 1111 card, God's timing card, Aries card, spring card, just so we're saying springtime of the soul, the rebirth, stability in what you want. This is a self, this is a house, this is completion of the first house of self. The first house of self goes through Ace through Four of Wands, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, so this is completion of self. Once you sort through, I guess what do you do with that though? You allow what's been worked on in you. You allow the transfer. You look at these that are in reverse, that are affected. I always teach in drawing, in my drawing programs, right? One thing, because that's my religion, even beyond this, is drawing. Because that's how I understand this, is through my background in drawing. And that's what I fought for in life, was I came to drawing the hard way. And it has everything to do with the pink spider. But the solutions that you're looking for are right underneath the problems. So the problems right here, we do not have a problem with timing, safe passage, protection, being intuitive, being connected, listening. You know how to listen. Do you know how to listen? Well, we have, you know how to work at it. We have hard work here, proving yourself to yourself. And we have transformation here. Yes, balance. You know you need balance. So over here, how to keep yourself spiritually renewed. This is in the upright. But if it's guarded, because I sensed that the King of Pentacles was guarded. So investing, King of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles reversed, if it's got career in reverse, so Nine of Pentacles, proving yourself to everyone in this world. And this is like a landlord figure. This is, he has all his property, he has all his reach, he has, you can say yes to anything and be safe, but he's going to have strong boundaries. Yes, these boundaries, let's say your boundaries need to be reset. See how they have boundaries? Yes, and there's rebirth within those boundaries. It's very much a Saturn energy. Saturn sets the boundaries so that you can actually flourish within them. And those calculated risks. Those calculated risks of saying, you know, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go for this, and it's the best time. It's the best time to do it. It's the, you know, at the top of your game. So boundaries, let's say boundaries, because then the fears follow. Once the boundaries are reset, and then fears, you need to go into fears. Fears here are sideways as well. We've got more Saturn energy repeating. Yeah. And you worship what you fear. That's the thing. You worship what you fear. You give it too much power. Now, I do fear extremely violent, psychopathic humans who are connected to demons. Absolutely, they are capable of atrocities beyond imagination. So I have a healthy fear of that. But but that is, I fear them doing it to me because it's a personal fear, right? Like I fear them doing it to anybody, but that's an abstraction, right? I'm angry about them doing it to anybody else. If they do it to anybody else, that's not a direct threat to me, right? So, but in terms of fearing in ignorance, okay, sorry, camera card filled up. I forgot to empty it. But fearing in ignorance means you are going to give something that is the beginning of worshiping it, because you're allowing it to have power over you without even knowing what it is. And therefore it's toxic. So this is in sideways mode. And it looks like it has everything to do with career. It's affecting this king, it's affecting the 10, so home, it's affecting home, but maybe just sense of self as well. And it's also affecting, of course it's going to affect who you are negotiating with or working with as far as guides, because there is lack of definition to who you're working with. So have we been dealing with some abstractions here, and now we need to get specific, because then you can't get filled up necessarily because you don't know who exactly and why and what. Got 2 4s. We could say that this card could go over there, but there's that necessary change. Like this is leading us back to the 6, the gifts of spirit, the gifts from guides, the gifts from family, the gifts from, you know, roots, and becoming all of those 7 things really in my world. That's because I'm Scorpio rising. So I see this as when you put one foot into the spirit world, you live with one foot in their world and one foot in your world. And maybe that's really what this 10 of Pentacles in reverse is because they had me point out the portal, right? Maybe it's the hesitation to put that other foot, the one foot in that other world, because of not knowing who you are and how much more of yourself you're going to lose to that. I bet you can't know until you do step in. That's going to be the paradox of this. Because we could read this card in another way of like the dead who are not truly dead, yes? The fear is getting in the way. It's holding things up. Right? This 10 is suspended. This ace, these two aces are suspended, right? The truth is suspended. You can't know the truth until and get spiritual. You got to step through this. Okay, so it's a faith issue. The Hanged Man, the Neptune. Yes, I feel like you've got to step through that portal. You have to do the Scorpio work. You have to do the saying yes first and stepping in. Okay, I'm not sure exactly how much I lost, but it's all about your work as well. So, yeah. And the difficulty is all of the people around you that were in your head as well. How to keep a balance with them. Okay, I've got a 2 of Pentacles slapping out. Cash flow. Give and take. Cardinal. Right. Great. Okay, so Gemini lovers. Ethics, information, origins. Origins. It's a 6. So a gift of divine timing, a gift of divine connection. Of course, forget the truth. Well, know the truth. Okay. Oh, okay. Obviously. Okay. So you need to do the work of, if you look up the African prophetesses that were truly the Delphi Oracle, so Mami Wata, if you look up the Sibyl's, if you go to the Sibyl's Oraculum, that card set, that information, but also Mami Wata, if you YouTube that, if you type in the true history of African prophetesses, I believe, I'll see if I can find the link fast enough, put it in the description, but get the truth behind Adam and Eve. If you look up The Bible is from Arabia by Kamal Salibi, that's going back to 1985, and he takes and I'm not trying to, again, like one of my primary earth guides is an atheist Jew, Russian survivor of the Holocaust, yes? So I'm not out to, I pursue the truth no matter what. But the place names, the tribes are actually still in the Asir region of Arabia. Because biblical Hebrew and Aramaic, well, Hebrew was not a spoken language, the mistranslations into spoken are so numerous. Anyway, Kamal, he's Lebanese, he did a tremendous work with the spoken. Everybody needs to be reading it. What else can I think of? The Orisha. Also, well, no, that's a good start in terms of the origin, because Adam and Eve was created as a smear campaign against the African prophetesses, against the serpent in African religions and what it represents, right? Okay, because if you pull that together with the Bible from Arabia, all that stuff, then you can see how very human we are. So the truth, absolutely. Yes, and then that helps you, the more and more truth. That's why I consider this to be an ethics card, also because it's third house and has everything to do with learning. Yes? So the very truth of this card, the symbols in it, yes, that needs to be fully understood, which further highlights this mirror card. Yes? What was I saying about if you don't know, if you don't get specific about it, then you fear it and you worship. We worship what we fear, and that's why so many religions worship Saturn, but it's not even Saturn as Saturn truly is, right? They've, and there's fear around people for worshiping Saturn, but the black box, black cube, black star, black, everything, you know, Saturn has all its own properties. The more scientific we get about it, yes. I mean, yes, there's an esoteric reality to this universe. I wouldn't argue for a moment that the great architect put us here. He's just not my friend. So, what remains vague, if we do not solve it, then we start to worship it. It becomes toxic. Yes, so that is mirrored in these two cards. Okay, yes, Pisces. I'm elaborating because I know it's one thing to say, yes, you need to get to know yourself, and it's another thing to say, well, how the hell do I do that? How the hell do I do that? So in our work, and really that means shutting out other people for a while, as much as you can. Not for long. This reading is for May 1st to 15th. Let's see what the 16th to the 31st brings. Okay? But yeah, getting specific about who your guides are, allowing, then the messages start to flow through, yes? Because there's clarity about who you want. And decide for yourself. Decide who God is. Decide what you can accept. Decide what the ethics are. I do everything based on, I once decided what my ethics are. What I could consider allowable in, you know, in a God. And I stuck to that because I need to reconcile all my decisions. I need to own my decisions. I need to be self-possessing. Bottom line, as someone who had to develop life skills later on as a single mother, basically repeat, you know, from zero again. My mom had had cancer through my childhood. She was also a career singer. She was an opera singer. So there just wasn't any time. And there was just trauma, right? And then my grandmother had Alzheimer's, and I was keeping I'm the only child. I kept my dad company. And he's an Aquarius. So we just sat at the table together a lot, and I listened to him philosophize. Because he's a philosopher as well. So I had to start over. And in the remedial stages, the first thing to do is to become self-possessing. I answer for myself. No matter who God is, no matter who guides are, who am I, right? And so I am, this might help, I am my ethics. I am my decisions. Beyond that, then it's that much harder to manifest and say, well, I do this and I do that. It's like, this is not easy work for the muse. This is not easy work for Neptune. So hopefully that all helps. I might as well stop rambling because I'm sure nobody has watched till this far, but it needed saying so that I know my statement is complete. And I will be back in 2 weeks, Pisces. Just to recap what they said. Never too late. Never too late. Your true self is ready. And good fortune granted. Now's the time. Now's the time. Safe passage. Alright, Pisces. Back in 2 weeks. Much love.